Hey, what's happening, YouTubers? I'm here with a brand new unboxing video. Today we have a throwback unboxing. It's from the Spider-Man 3 movie back in 2007. I got this at Gateway Comics. I'll put a link below in the description. But it's the Rolling Attack New Goblin. This is pretty cool because I've never really seen any Spider-Man 3 merch at any comic book shops recently. I'm noticing they're starting to pop up a lot more now, which is awesome. But you can see from the packaging, there's Spider-Man, and then there's his accessories, and there's a new Goblin, and it's called Rolling Attack. And then you can see his glider right there. And then you kind of see the Manhattan building. On the bottom's a UPC code. And then on the back, you can see the other figures and a little read-up on New Goblin. Feel free to pause the video if you want to go ahead and watch it or read it. And then there's his accessories he comes with, and the other figures in the line. You have the Sandman, Venom, and then the Symbiote Spider-Man. And then you can see it's from Columbia Pictures because this is from the Sony Marvel universe. And then on the top, he comes with a sticker. And right before I open the box, you can see on the side and show this part, there's a Spider-Man 3 logo. So right out of the packaging, I'm going to get started with his accessories. This is like one of his throwing attack weapons. I don't really remember the movie that well because it was pretty forgettable. I think the only thing anybody really remembers from that video or the movie was Tobey Maguire dancing. But I do remember these. These are the exploding pumpkin bombs, which is true to the comics and the animated series. So it's cool they gave you two of those. Doesn't really make any sense though because he only has one hand that can actually grip it. And then here you see his mask. And then he also comes with his little glider here, which is pretty sweet. It's pretty detailed, I'd say. It rolls. It's kind of like a Hot Wheel car. Now, I'm calling it his glider, but Hasbro actually calls it their Sky Stick, which is pretty neat. I never heard it being referred to that, but I'm just going to keep calling it its glider. And just to show you, here is the packaging, and there's where it says Sky Stick with Rolling Attack. I gotta say though, for a figure that came out in 2007, I believe, it's pretty good. The detailing of the accessories has been pretty good so far. Now, when we take a look at the figure, let me just adjust the brightness here a little bit. He doesn't look like James Franco at all. He kind of looks like Jim from The Office, to be honest with you. But one thing I did notice about this figure, right before I got it, was I thought it had different points of articulation in terms of his elbows and his knees. I didn't realize he didn't. It's kind of like one of those gimmicky toys where if you squeeze his legs, his arm will move. It's kind of like one of those types of action figures. So I was kind of surprised by that. And you can see his sword's kind of got like a warped bend because of it being in the package for so long. I say overall though, the detailing and sculpt's pretty good. Not bad for a figure that's about 12 years old. I'm not going to watch the movie again. I might actually watch the scene again to see if that's actually how his outfit looks like. And you can see his arms do move up and down, so do his legs. And there's a waist swivel, but that's because if you squeeze his leg, it kind of gives that little arm motion. The thing that doesn't make any sense, though, if you saw there's two belts. I don't really understand that, to be honest with you. Now, for the price point I paid for it, I say it wasn't a bad pickup, but I definitely am excited for this because I'm going to have them displayed with my other Spider-Man figures. And speaking of Spider-Man figures, for a first scale size comparison, here he is next to Night Monkey, or I should say the Stealth Suit Spidey from Far From Home. But you can see he doesn't scale well at all with the basic figure. The next scale size comparison I'll show is the Mysterio from Far From Home basic figure. See, this one he can actually scale with because I can see Mysterio being taller than him. For whatever reason, when it came to these Spider-Man basic figures, they always scaled at a weirder size than like the other basic figures from the other Avengers movies. But I think if you look at them side to side, I think they would scale pretty well together. And for the next scale size comparison, we're going to put him next to the Walmart exclusive Miles Morales Into the Spider-Verse figure that came with the digital copy from Voodoo. And I am going to try to put his mask on. You can see, because it's been in the packaging so long, like, it's really bent. I don't want to break it. And almost got it on there. It's kind of tricky considering this thing is pretty warped. I've seen some people pose it like that where the mask is half on, which is pretty weird to me. And there you go. I think I will keep the mask on, mainly because he doesn't look like James Franco at all. I was kind of hoping he would, but for a basic figure and for a 12-year-old figure during Hasbro's infancy on making Marvel figures, I'm not too surprised. Still overall pretty good, though. And I think it looks pretty cool with the mask, to be honest with you. And in just a second here, I'm going to put him on his glider or sky stick. And so he does have 2 peg holes where you can go ahead and put him on this glider. It is weird, though, because if you notice, one of his boots is kind of elevated up, so it's not fully on there, which is pretty weird. It's kind of a trick to kind of stand him up because he is top heavy and he will go forward. But I think that looks pretty sick. I mean, not bad for the price point I paid for it. I paid a little bit more than retail, obviously because it's a vintage figure. But that's my review today, YouTubers, for this new Goblin rolling attack from Hasbro. Let me know in the comments below what you think. I think it's pretty sweet. I mean, for some reason, I didn't realize that Hasbro made a new Goblin figure, like a basic figure. So I'm pretty stoked to find this. I am starting to notice it pop up more on my Instagram feed when it comes to vintage Spider-Man 3 figures. I'm not sure where they're coming from, but I think it's pretty sweet. Let me know in the comments below what you think of this figure. And also be sure to check out the link to Gateway Comics. Pretty dope place, reasonably priced, and awesome staff. But that's my review today, YouTubers. Let me know if you got any feedback for me. Leave it in the comments below. And be sure to check out my Instagram at Pack Photos. Peace.